managerial merry-go-round over in Serie A with, of course, Juventus, Internazionale and Lazio all looking for new managers. What's going to happen in the new campaign? I'll tell you next. That's right, folks, back once again with an early door prediction video. Today we're going to take a look at the 2021-2022 Serie A season, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, where the heck you been, boys? Smash your subscribe button to keep you back up today with all things Babylon related, Serie A related. Whoa, football name we're going to do here. All here, under one Ruski, that's right, of course. Yes, managerial merry-go-round causing chaos over in Serie A with some teams haven't got a clue who's going to be in charge next campaign. Of course, we'll take a look at all of that in just a second. Of course, a big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons. Thank you for your continued support as we work behind the scenes to get where we go in. And of course, a big shout out to the current guys as well. Check out the link down below, patreon.com/Roverseas, if you want to become part of the family, boys and girls. But anyway, what we're going to do is, of course, reveal my picks for the title and, of course, for the relegation spots from the middle all the way down. And, of course, then we'll reveal the top half of the table. Some surprises in there, maybe, but ultimately we'll give you it from the top to bottom. So let's get cracking with smack dab in the middle with another 11th. That's right, it is Hellas Verona. Goodness gracious me. Hellas Verona, of course, last campaign finishing in 10th. So a bit of a downgrade for them. Of course, losing their manager as well, Aaron Jurcic, is of course moving on to pastures. News actually gone to Torino, which could be a big blessing for them as well. So they always, since they've returned from Serie B a couple of seasons ago, they've been there or thereabouts in that mid-table, not really flattering with the top end of the table and not really flattering in the bottom, just smack down in the middle. I think it's going to be pretty much as you were there, even with a new manager, whoever that will be. We don't know who it is, and of course I'm recording this on the 1st of June, and of course as of recording we just don't know, so we'll see about that. So for me, I think it's just going to be as you were, season of safety, and we'll see how they go on from next season. So of course we'll kick it on further into 12th now. Into 12th I have Udinese. Finishing last season, and again not great, 14th last time around, 40 points on the board, 10 wins that season. I think they'll need to be much stronger than they have been last time around, because I think that bottom end of the table is quite tight. I do think they'll get the responses from that, from the personnel. Of course, again, no major managerial shake-ups for Udinese. They're going to keep it as you were, really, with the key faces, as of right now, anyway. That may change, of course, with the amount of vacancies still going on. Keeping a hold of your manager is paramount. But I don't think Luca Gotti's got anything to worry about. I think he'll be there, of course, keeping Udinese in the right shape. And, of course, finishing in 12th for them will be deemed a success. So, yeah, progress is what you need. And, again, let's stick with it. And I'm going to go with a 12th. And I'll get early door picks, though. So we'll see how my mind changes as the season draws near. Of course, into 13th now we have Cagliari, again a team that I always put as strugglers, but always do very, very well. Of course, finishing in, actually didn't they just held on last time around, finishing in 16th. Again, I think that might have been a bit harsh. It was quite tight though at the bottom end of the table, with maybe 6 points separating 15th from 18th. Of course, Benevento ultimately going down. But yeah, I think Cagliari, a team I always put in that sort of category, will do okay this time around. I'm used to them now. They've got some really good players as well. Simeone, Son is Giovanni Simeone's on the books there, I believe, scoring the goals. Or am I getting that mixed up? I might be getting it mixed up. No, I am right. I bloody am right. Of course, I know what I know what I'm talking about. Of course, Simeone's goals, of course, keeping them in the division last round. I think they will rely on him, and of course, other key personnel to keep them in the table. Not only in the table, but of course, in mid-table safety. So again, I don't anticipate too much of a bad campaign for Cagliari. They'll be safe as houses. And again, I think season in, season out, as long as they're in the top flight, they can't really complain. So I think as safe as houses, 30 spot for Cagliari will be nice. Into 14th though we have Bologna. Bologna, of course, finishing 12th last round. Again, a bit of a downgrade, but again, they're one of those teams in the middle that they end up there. It's kind of like, if you want to look at it in an English point of view, as a who does that all the time. It's kind of like a Crystal Palace or just a team that doesn't really do much. Southampton, there you go, like a Southampton. They might flirt with the top end of the table for a little bit, but of course they flirt with the bottom, but they'll always end up in mid-table. Again, Bologna will be the case for that. Maybe a little bit harsh on the placement. They probably could finish in the top half, maybe into 10th, but I think they're just going to have to settle with 14th in my eyes. Again, early door pick. Last time around, when they finished, I think they finished in 12th, so a bit of a downgrade there. So we'll see how that pans out there. So into 15th spot, we have one of the new boys. It's Venezia, that's right, aka Venice, to you and me. Paolo Zanetti's boys coming through the sneaky back door. That is the Serie B playoffs. I do think they'll have a strong first season back in the top flight. I don't know too much about them, but I'm looking forward to seeing them in action as well this time around. I do think they'll have just enough quality. Maybe they'll ride off the curtails of that playoff win and be in mid-table safety. Of course, last season, 2 of the 3 that came up went straight back down. But this time around, I think, what have I got? I think I have 2 of the 3 staying up, and they are one of them. So Venezia sticking around, and we'll see who else joins them in just a second. So into 16th, though, we have Torino. That's right. So Torino coming in, of course, with a new manager. Ivan Jurcic coming in the books from, of course, Hellas Verona. They've got Bellotti on the books. As long as they keep Bellotti, they've got the goals. That'll probably keep them in division as well. I want to see them be in mid-table, if not better than that. But a season in, season out for the past few seasons, they have struggled. I think they'll be much safer with this new pair of hands. Ivan Jurcic has done a fantastic job with Verona last time around, of course. But Torino just barely hung on 4 points above the drop. But they need to have a better campaign than they did last time. They look like nailed-on relegation candidates for a good part of the season, but they'll need to change that up this time around. 16 for them, just a little bit better, but of course it's safe as ours. And again, I'll revisit these once the season gets a little bit closer, and I'll make my picks then. So into 17, we have another new boy. It is Empoli. That's right, coming in through as Serie B champions. I do have them sticking around. Actually, I've actually got 2 of the 3 sticking around. Only 1. Sorry, scrap that, because I did say 2 were going down. So I do have Empoli also sticking around, finishing in 17th. That's right, coming through as champions from Serie B. Just enough quality, I think, to stick around in this division. Again, don't know too much about them. I'm looking forward to getting to know them. And I think with as long as they keep their manager, they keep their momentum, keep their players that did them so well, and ride with the mojo, they'll be fine into 17th. Into 18th, though, we're going to go with Genoa. That's right, Genoa. Of course, finishing in 11th. This is a bit of a balmy shout for me. Again, season in, season out, I've picked them to be strugglers, and I'm sticking to the cause here. I think Genoa will get sucked into the relegation zone this time around, and they won't get out. There'll be a vacuum of something to pull Genoa back into that drop zone. Again, tremendous season for them in 11th. They've managed to keep a hold of their managers, so that's going to be crucial in their progress moving forward. But for some reason, I've got that sort of bit in my belly that says, you know what, Genoa are going down. And joining them into 19th is Spezia. Of course, Spezia defied all odds, sticking around last round with Vincenzo Italiano. Cool name as manager. And of course, having him back on the books will also improve their chances moving forward into the new season. I just think it'll be two season syndromes for them, and of course get sucked into the relegation zone and won't get out of it. So for me, Genoa go down in 18th, and then joining them will be Spezia into 19th. And then finally wrapping up the relegation spots is another new boy. It's Salernitana. That's right, Fabio Castrosi's boys coming in here, of course, trying to prove us all wrong. They were runners up in Serie B last time around, and again, I don't really know too much about them. I don't even know when they were last time in the top flight. Kind of a cool looking badge. We'll explore those later in another video, I'm sure. But I think, yeah, they're going to struggle alongside Spezia, alongside Genoa, and go back down to the second flight after one season up here. So that is that's the bottom half. Let's move into the top half with number 10. Number 10 is Sassuolo. That's right, of course. New manager needed for Sassuolo. We don't know who it is at the moment. Of course, formerly leaving the books was Roberto De Zebri. So Sassuolo last time around, what did they finish? They finished in 8th, of course. A good season for them, and just on level on points with Roma as well. So a little bit hard done by for them. What is the deal with that? I thought Roberto De Zebri. Okay, his contract has expired. He'll probably sidestep into another job, I'm sure. But I would have kept a hold of him, because I think finishing in 8th is a pretty credible result for Sassuolo. For them to go backwards, I think it's just purely on the managerial basis. They do have some really exciting players in their team. They've also made it to the Euros, so looking forward to watching Italy at the Euros, and of course some of these key players to do very, very well. Again, I think they'll be all right with 10th. It's not too much of a downgrade. Keeping hold of the players will be paramount as well. So losing the manager, and also the possibility of losing players will also have the likelihood of a bit of a degrade. So I'm going to go with Sassuolo to 10th. Into 9th, of course, we have Fiorentina. That's right. Giuseppe Anacci's former boys, of course, he has also moved on. And Gennaro Gattuso's come in to take over the reins. Of course, Gattuso, formerly Milan manager, former Napoli manager, is doing the rounds here. Of course, Fiorentina finishing in 13th last time around. I think he'll give a bit of an upgrade in regards to tactics, in regards to the style of play. And again, a bit of an upgrade as well. Not really the dizzy heights of what I remember Fiorentina from back in the 90s. But of course, I don't know. It's a strange old beast, is Gennaro Gattuso. You go from AC Milan, probably weren't even considered to be a Euro candidate at the time, with a bit of a mess that they were, and of course did okay for the time being, not really where they wanted to be with the minimal resources they had. Then they went over to Napoli and did okay for them. Ultimately, I think they wanted Champions League and they didn't get it 2 seasons in a row. So I think that's what cost him his job in the end. I'm just trying to see how he left. His contract was ended. So yeah, I guess there was the appeal of a new contract didn't arise, so he moved over to Fiorentina, took job safety instead. So yeah, fair play to him, Gattuso. I don't think it'll be a master stroke for either two sides. I think it'll be maybe a transitional season. I'm hoping to be proven wrong. I would love to see Fiorentina into that top 6 and maybe even beyond that, but it's going to take a couple of seasons to do that. Into 8th, of course, we have my boys Sampdoria. That's right, the nicest man of football is gone. That's right, Claudio Ranieri has stepped aside, or he will step aside at the end of the month. And again, question marks will be who will come in to take over the reins. If I was to look at those available managers that have just departed, I would take Roberto De Zerbi. I think he will do an absolute genius bit of stuff if he could maybe adapt the style of play Sassuolo have done over the past few seasons. Of course, a not bad season for Sampdoria, finishing in 9th. I do think they'll get one step better next season. However, they could be the reverse. Of course, Claudio Ranieri was probably brought in to bring in the wonders, but it never really materialised for him. I think that they could go towards that bottom end of the table if they make a wrong appointment. So that is massive in their future. So I'd like to see Sampdoria make a really strong appointment in the summer whatever it is window to bring in a new manager and maybe strengthen my cause for not only 8th but maybe even top 6. And that would be very, very bold to see that happen. So Sampdoria, of course, without Ranieri, for me, going to finishing in 8th. Into 7th spot we have Napoli. Of course, Gattuso has gone, and of course coming in is Luciano Spalletti. Now again, I'm not really blown away with his statistics. I had a quick review of his honours. He's not really done too much in regards to say, you know what, I'm the next best thing. He's a bit of a merry-go-round sort of coach, and again, this is his chance to flex his muscles at Napoli. They finished in 5th last time around. I do think they'll go backwards under Spalletti, and of course open up the door for the likes of a Roma, of course a Lazio, of course another team in that mix to maybe push forward. 7th should be okay for them. It won't be good for the board. Spalletti will be content. He'll probably think that's probably a masterstroke finishing 7th. I think they're going to be a little bit cheapened with that, and he'll probably be out of a job within a year's time. So Spalletti and Napoli in 7th in my eyes, a downgrade from 2 spots. Into 6th we have Lazio. That's right, again a team that's going to be looking for a new manager. Simone Inzaghi has been tipped to go to Internazionale. Now I'm not really sure that's a role that suits either man or either team really. Simone Inzaghi's been in charge. I don't know how many years was it now? Since 2016. He's been there for a while. Of course, former player with Lazio, not really played for Internazionale. Has got that connection. Has got that love for the club. So I think he might have flattered to deceive a little bit here. So I don't think it's going to be a right appointment for Internazionale moving forward. They needed a major face. They needed an Allegri. They needed maybe a Zidane. They needed somebody to come in with a bit of pizzazz, bit of panache. But that's Inzaghi. I'm talking about Inzaghi. So Lazio now will have a massive void, losing a key ingredient to their aura. Of course, Inzaghi, former legend of the club. Well, I say legend. He scored a handful of goals for them and quite a handful of appearances as well. But of course, been at the helm for 5 years. It's going to be some task to fill that void. I do think they will be okay into 6th spot. They'll make a really good appointment. And again, the likes of Roberto De Zerbi might come in. Conte is is on lookout for a job. I don't think he'll go there. Who else was it? Pirlo might move on. There are some really attractive options out there if they were to get the appointment right. But for me, I think it's their key man has left, and that's going to cause some problems in the long term. But so I'm going to go with 6 though for Lazio. All in all though, that's as you were, really, as you were. Into 5th spot now, bit of a shock here. I'm going with Internazionale. They are the champions, of course, but they've lost a mastermind. That is, of course, Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte wins bloody trophies. That's right, forever serial winner. Of course, with Juventus, with bloody with Chelsea, now into Milan. So he gets results, and wherever he ends up, whether it is Real Madrid, whether it is somewhere else in this division, whether it is into the international scene, who knows? They're going to get themselves a good manager. For me, Internazionale need another big old face. Allegri was the one. Of course, has gone back to Juventus, but. When you look at some of the ones that have made way this season, there's not many ones that excite me that are going to take over International. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think they're going to be a massive downgrade from their standard of football last round. Prior to Conte, they were sort of top 4-ish, but I think it's going to be a massive loss for them. And also, it might not just be them. They might lose the likes of Lukaku. Some other faces are going to be on the lookout to go elsewhere. So it's going to be a wobbly season for them. They'll have a fantastic season, experience in the Champions League once again. But they fall short in the league. So 5th spot for Internazionale. So into 4th spot, we have Atalanta, of course. Just brilliant things going on with Atalanta. And again, finishing in the top 4 would be a success. Just 1 point shy of finishing as runners-up last round. Of course, considerably short of course, that top spot. But again, finishing in 3rd. Record goals as well. 90 goals for them last season. Not the greatest defence, but who cares? As long as you're scoring goals, you're happy with that. Just 6 defeats all season, I think. And again, keeping all the manager, keeping all the system, keeping all the key ingredients will just keep you as you were, really. So 4th for them is not really a bold pick. It's a safe pick. You might even go push them for the title, depending on, because of this wobbly sort of interim with the likes of Roma with a new manager, Juventus with a new manager, Internazionale with a new manager. So there's a lot of question marks about, are these managers the right fit for these clubs? Atalanta have got it right, going to keep it to it, and of course I don't see too much of a change. Into 3rd now we have, of course, Mourinho's boys, Roma. He will be there. It might not be pretty on the eye, it might not be fantastic to watch, but he'll get results. Mourinho's boys coming back to Italy. Of course, last time he was in Italy, he took the title with Internazionale. Am I saying they're going to win a title with Roma? Probably not, but I think they'll be in the European, the Champions League hunt this time around, finishing in 3rd. That'll be a massive improvement on last season's campaign, ultimately finishing in 7th, making up a good, this will make up a good 16 points if this was to be proven right. Of course, they're already trying to get busy in the transfer market. Granit Xhaka has been linked with Roma, some other faces as well. So it could be a massive season for Jose, massive season for Roma, and I do think they'll get most of this stuff right and finishing in 3rd. It might be some considerable distance from the top 2, but I think they'll be there or thereabouts in the end. So Mourinho's coming in, taking over from Paulo Fonseca. Who knows where he'll end up? But I think, to be fair, I don't think he really blew me away with his campaign, Paulo Fonseca. Prior to that, where was he managing? He did manage Porto. Yeah, it's not bad sort of resume. Braga as well. Yeah, it's just a little bit for me. But anyway, we'll see where he ends up. But of course, Mourinho's boys will be okay. Into 3rd. Into 2nd, we have, of course, Milan. That's right, AC Milan. Of course, sticking with the manager, of course, Stefano Poli, coming in to do wonders as you were. Again, keeping a hold of him, keeping a hold of the momentum, keeping a hold of the key in players. Zlatan will be back as well. So looking forward to seeing him in charge. Of course, they've got some really key players. Kessie's a key ingredient in the heartbeat of midfield. Of course, some other key personnel. Donnarumma is going to be a major loss, but they brought in Mike Mannigan from PSG to come in to fill that void as well. So, is it not Mike? He came in from Lille. That's right, came in from Lille. Sorry, scrap that. So yeah, it'd be interesting. It's a new campaign for Milan. I think they'll just have enough quality. And again, keeping hold of the manager, keeping hold of the system, keeping hold of the key faces will keep them as you were, really, into 2nd spot. So there's no major change for them. So they'll take that. And then to top honours, it is the returning Allegri's boys, Juventus, of course. Last season's gamble, bringing in Andre Pirlo was a bit of a failure, to be fair. Only just securing Champions League football on the final day of the season, into 4th spot, just 1 point better off than Napoli. Not good enough, I'm afraid. Not good enough for Juventus. They want to be in that at least that number 1 spot. They'll get back to number 1 with Allegri, and I don't know about Ronaldo. I don't know. I think they can be top spot without Ronaldo. I think they just need a mastermind technician to do that. So with Ronaldo and Allegri, yes, guess what? That's going to be a guaranteed title. I think with Allegri, with Ronaldo, it might be a tight race in that top end of the table when we come down to it. So interesting times ahead for Juventus. I'm going to go bold on Juventus for my early door pick. We'll have a little look, of course, once August the 1st comes around. Is Ronaldo still there? What's going on with Internazionale? Have they brought in Alex Ferguson or whatever, some other balmy sort of a managerial appointment to really change it up? So these are my early door heartfelt predictions right here right now on the 1st of June. And of course, we'll check back in 2 months' time to see what's been going on in the transfer window. But that's it, my friends. That is it. Make sure you give the video some love and smash the old thumbs up, smash the old subscribe. Check out the links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course Patreon as well. So make sure you check those bad boys out. Also, check out the old Discord. That's wide open. It's a good chance for you to chat with me on the fly. I've been a little bit busy this past week. Of course, been on the road, so I couldn't really get involved with the Discord. I'm going to be, of course, get involved this week, and of course, back to work today. So we'll have that on the phone. So I'll keep an eye on with you guys. But anyway, that's it, my friends. That is it. Be sure to give the video some love, and I'll see you soon. And of course, get your picks in down below, and I'll see you soon for the new season.